another episode, FilmSpeak. I'm your host, Bill. Maniacal laugh, maniacal laugh. And I'm Lana. Joanna couldn't be here today because she's super awesome.
Homage.
Welcome back to FilmSpeak and happy Halloween. Today I'm joined by Joanna and Edgar and welcoming our guests Daryl Miller and Titus Wolverton.
Good to be back again. After we hear about what our guests are up to, we'll be talking about Mel Brooks' classic, Young Frankenstein.
This is a favorite of mine. I really love this film. Next to Foul Play, Young Frankenstein is probably the next biggest influence on me.
It's a perfect comedy wrapped in homage to one of our great horror classics. Gene Wilder is a genius. I never grow tired of watching this movie.
Me too. Before we can talk about it, we will be sitting down with our guests and finding out what they have been doing locally in film.
Then we will break down one of Mel Brooks' greatest films.
But first, let us check out some clips brought in by Daryl, and then we will see you at the table.
Kim. Yeah, I'm at Donovan's. How are things on your end?
We were partners. I loved you.
Love? Love? You don't know what love is. You killed my wife. Now I'm gonna kill you.
You mind if I ask you a personal question?
Not at all.
Do you love your wife?
Of course I do. What kind of question is that?
I'm asking because you're looking at Stacy like I used to look at my secretary. You know, Mike, you need to ask yourself, is this worth it? I know men who've lost a lot of money chasing women, but I don't know one man who's lost a woman chasing money. I need you to keep your head in the game. You got it? And you know which one I'm talking about. I mean, John, look. Once you activate, nothing, I mean nothing in the real world matters anymore. My cousin's friend stayed in for a whole month. What a mess. But it's incredible. I can't even describe it. I mean, you've got to try it.
I was born in this house, in the bathtub. My mother, she said it was the cleanest birth she ever had. I was one of 15 children, one of 7 that made it to adulthood.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh, no. No, it just means I'm one of the strong ones. I was chosen. Their essence is in me.
Catherine, tough love is tough, but it's still love. You're my little girl, Cat. I know one thing I can tell you right now is no little girl of mine is gonna be seen walking around with some nigger. You hear me? I won't see that boy with you again. Now go fetch the paddle. Go on, get it.
You gotta be quick, come on.
Joanna just smiled.
Hi, welcome to Film Speak.
Our fun Halloween episode. We are joined by Daryl Miller and Titus Wolverton today. And we are going to find out what the guys have been up to locally in film.
Daryl, why don't we start with you? So tell us a little about yourself and what you've been doing. And
Well, thanks. Thanks for having me on the show, first of all. I'm really
course.
excited to be here. Good to see Lana again. She's known me actually since I started acting about 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And since I started acting, I've been in over 20 projects, mostly film. Because my travel schedule hasn't really allowed me to do too much with theater, but I've done some theater productions, and I've been training in Chicago at Second City for the last 3 years,
nice.
and yeah, it's been really exciting, and I'm off to Los Angeles in 2 weeks to train with David Kagan for film and acting under the Meisner type method.
oh, cool.
Very cool.
I've been recently cast in the production of The Early Patrons, and looking forward to, yay, that's right, yeah. Really looking forward to that. I was really excited about the script when I read it all the way through. It's a nice, really meaty, emotional piece, and I'm looking forward to that production. And then I'm off to Los Angeles. So
That's exciting.
I guess my most recent project was about a year ago, which is still, I think it's still in post-production, was with the Savannah College of Art and Design, which has a very well-renowned film school. That's called The Seat with the Clearest View, and I had a lead role in that. It was shot out in the Daniel Boone National Forest in Kentucky.
Oh, cool.
It was great. It was exciting. The whole cast and crew slept in one cabin, and then another cabin was the set. And I was fortunate. I felt a little bit like George Clooney because I slept in a closet for 3 nights. That was my room, and it was a lot of fun. But it was a really great crew and cast, and I'm looking forward to seeing that production come out. So that's what's been going on. It's a lot of fun.
Excellent, excellent. How about you, Titus? What have you been up to?
Well, thank you for asking. I just came to provide the military presence, so in case there's any danger zone happenings up in here, but happy Halloween. So my most completed project is a film called Scare Waves, directed by Henrik Kuto, and it is a horror anthology film, and my character's name is Mitchell, and you should check it out. It's pretty cool. Joanna is in the film too.
Yeah, last segment, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been nothing without Joanna. I'm really glad she, provided her talents. So I am going to be in a play called The Breakfast Club. It's the stage adaptation of the film The Breakfast Club, and the Playground Theater is putting that on. It will be actually staged at the Rosewood Arts Center in December. And I'll be playing the Emilio Estevez character, Andrew.
Oh, nice.
So excited about that opportunity. So I'm also attached to an upcoming project with award-winning director Ryan Stacy, and it will be a follow-up to his award-winning short called Ladies' Night Out. So more details on that to come.
Are you a lady?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. I'm a femme fatale.
Yes,
so
I love those eyelashes. I'm like, finally someone puts some makeup on them.
he knew who to turn to fulfill these needs. So,
Excellent. So you both have a theater background. I'm interested in knowing how theater acting and film acting, are they different, similar? I mean, how do you approach each? Because to me, they're different. So how do you adapt and adjust to that, or do you kind of mingle them?
Titus, you want to go?
I was going to say, Daryl, you want to go first?
Okay. Well, I have a little bit of a
five.
theater background. Like Titus, I did some community theater early on, some church theater, some musicals. I think probably my biggest production I was cast as the Worm in Ansylvania, which I think on Broadway was Pat Boone starred in that. And it's a story of the biblical story of the prodigal son, but it's told from the perspective of ants. And it was a musical, and I remember, like I said, getting the role of Mr. Worm, and I think I got that because I just threw a characterization on the voice, and during the audition I realized that a worm's going to sound like this. so I sang my song and talked like this the whole time. And they said, you got the part. So I think character, and I think that's a nice segue, character does matter, in anything that you do. Today I don't really see a lot of difference. I mean, somebody told me once that you know, in terms of preparation for a role, it's a screenplay. A film is a screenplay, you know, and so I prepare the same in that regard. As Titus and I were discussing earlier, I think what's exciting about theater is that you get that continuity. You get that time to just go through a character without any breaks, you know, in terms of production. We were also talking about how, you know, actors love to act and will act for free, but we get paid to wait because when you're on a film production, it's a lot of waiting.
It is
you
a
know?
lot
So,
of waiting.
so I think that, you know, and then the ability to, I think jumping around in terms of doing different scenes, because as we all know, film is not shot in order. Most people don't realize that unless you're in the business. And, you know, I think having to really have that quickness of getting in and out of character for that scene. I mean, you could literally be shooting the end of the movie and the height, the whole peak and arc of the movie could be shot in the beginning versus, you know, what you are, you know, in the beginning. Exactly right.
I agree a lot with what Daryl said. My turn. I think that stage acting and film acting are a little different in terms of what the tools that you have available to you when you're on screen in a video project. You have to stay within the parameters of the lens. So your movements aren't going to be as large, or your volume necessarily as artificially enhanced, because you don't have to project to the back row. So I think that when you're on stage, you have the responsibility and the need to at least sometimes use your entire body as your acting instrument. So there's more motion or more movement involved with stage acting. Of course, with film acting, I think that you're not necessarily going to use your body as much, and you have to be able to pull all of your acting ability into your emoting through facial expression, through your tone of voice, you know, things like that, because there's going to be more close-ups and things like that available within the video medium. But, you know, like Daryl said, you still prepare the same. You do your research on the character, you think about what it means to be performing this character and what you need to do to make that believable, and I think you just gotta, you don't get to, there's no like laying down on the job regardless of which one there is. They're just different. You know, there's more continuity on stage, so you get to stay in that moment from beginning to end. I've often said to people, I think that in certain circumstances, each one is more realistic. I think that almost like stage acting is more realistic in the fact that at least you're not stopping. You know, from beginning to end, you tell a story with continuity. So that might make the film medium a little less realistic for the actor in the moment, but at the same time, since film doesn't rely upon the exaggeration of emotion or what have you, then in those little snippets, those little scenes, those moments, I think there's maybe more realism there. So they're both wonderful, and I'm thankful to have the opportunity to do both kinds of acting.
Now, in the future, what dream director would you like to work with, if you could work with any director, and why?
Oh, that's
You go first.
That's big.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Put him on the spot.
Oh my gosh, how can you choose one? I mean, I probably have a list of wonderful actors that I'd like to work with. If it was a comedy, and I even could, you know, if it were a possibility to work with Mel Brooks, that would be a dream come true. But I don't know, I've always liked Steven Spielberg. Probably just is the first one to come to my mind repeatedly, so I'm just a big fan of his across the board. So that's not to say that I'm not a huge fan of many other directors as well. So.
I think three came to mind.
Okay.
One would be George Clooney. I was fortunate to be on the set of The Ides of March as a featured extra, and was directed by George. He was like 6 feet in front of me, and it was a scene in the opening of the movie where he wasn't in it, so he was just directing, and it was obvious that he just is a professional and treats everybody as such, and in between every take they were just cutting up and having fun and very loose environment. The other one that came to mind on the other end of the spectrum was James Cameron. I've just heard that, one, I like his films, you know, and I like the sound effects that he adds to his films. And And but what I've heard about him is I've heard he's just the opposite. He's really hard and focused and lots of takes and just that epitome of perfection, you know. And I think it'd be challenging to work under a challenging director like that. And then the third that came to mind was just personal preference is Ridley Scott.
Big one.
I love any movie that I see as a Scott-free production, which was a production company, both him and his brother, his deceased brother, Tony, have done. And I was just looking at the trailer for Exodus. What is it? Exodus, Kings and something coming out. It's the story of Moses, but a redo, and it's Ridley Scott. And I just really enjoy all of his movies, you know, and I'm looking forward to. I look forward to working with him. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Awesome.
So, for upcoming projects or your personal pages, where can people find either of you, like websites or anything?
Well, myself, probably the best place to go is darrellpmiller.com. That's DARRELL. pmiller.com. I'm also can be found on Twitter at darrellpmiller.com.
We'll throw those up on the
that'll be
bottom
great.
three
And there are
so everybody will see them.
and same thing on the Facebook, Darrell P. Miller, and there are links on my website for that.
Perfect.
As well as I can be found on any of the casting pages like Backstage and IMDb. I also have an IMDb page as well.
Awesome.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Nice.
I don't have a website at this point, but you can find me on Facebook and IMDb.
Okay.
Nice.
Very nice. All right.
Well, that wraps that up. Take a quick break and then come back and talk about Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein.
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 Yes,
Don't go anywhere.
We're gonna take some Rollins of hay. We're gonna take some Rollins of hay. Rose of hay. Rose of hay. Okay,
It's
go
so
to
much
black.
fun.
Go to black.
Mom. What's up? Oh, yeah? Yeah, well, we're going to be leaving out of here around 6 o'clock, so... Yeah, so Paul does not suspect a thing. It's going to be great. Oh, yeah, I think Taco Chi-Chi's going to be the best setting for this party. It's awesome. Yeah, margaritas. You can't go wrong, right? Oh, yeah. It's going to be a blast. Absolutely. It's going to be so much fun. And in the morning, we're going to have a lot to talk about if we don't forget what happened. Okay. All right, Mom. I'll be good. All right. I'll call you tomorrow. Okay. I love you too. Bye. I love Paris in the springtime. I love Paris in the fall. I love Paris in the springtime. I love Paris. I love Paris every moment. I gotta get out of here.
I've been searching for ya, and I've been from Ohio to California, and I know it's only vain, but I would do anything to hear you say my name. And I've had this thing for ya, but I keep moving forward, 'cause I know I'll find you someday. You are California. I knew it wasn't in vain, 'cause I can hear you now screaming my name.
back.
Oh, would you miss us?
We are here with Daryl and Titus, and we're going to chat about Young Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Igor. So, what'd you guys think? What'd you think?
Like it?
I
Love
love it.
Hate it?
I love it. It's a great film. Gene Wilder is amazing. Yeah.
He's got a crazy look to him, but it's like, you could tell he's probably a genuinely nice guy,
Yeah.
but he just has a crazy look to him. Like crazy eyes. Just crazy.
Well, you know, he obviously knows himself well and his abilities as an actor and a comedian, and so since he co-wrote that, you could tell he's sort of, it's a self-serving, you know, vehicle, but it's such a great part for him, and he just does it so well. I couldn't imagine anybody else playing that part. I love the asides. I love when they break the wall and look right at the camera. It's just so funny. The moments they do that are just part of
I love
the plot.
Feldman. I love when that happens.
He's great. Yeah. I think he has Marty Feldman. I felt had the most down-to-earth lines that were realistic. You know, where he wasn't a part of, as you mentioned earlier, the two-dimensional character.
No, it's pronounced Igor.
Right.
Igor.
Yeah. I think I love the part when the fiance showed up, Catherine, and he says, you know, if you need any help with these two girls, that's what I think it was pretty funny. I thought it was interesting to watch it again. I hadn't seen it in a long time, you know, from beginning to end, and so I watched it again. And I was sharing with my wife, it was a little, you know, some movies get better with time, and then I think I should say the way I feel about some movies get better,
Right.
and then some movies you want to revisit that old feeling. And I found for me, it didn't have the same feeling it had when I first watched it. You know, I think it's very slapsticky, but as you had mentioned earlier, it's, you know, kind of two-dimensional, the characters in it. I found myself a little bored in the beginning, but I was still awestruck, you know, by Gene Wilder. I've always been a fan of Gene Wilder, you know, and watching him. But you know, I found myself more attracted to what the actors were doing as characters. The story itself, you know, was a little slow for me this time around, which was I was kind of interesting my own feelings. I was like, oh wow, I'm not feeling about this the way I used to feel about it. You know, my memory of it. Yeah.
Is this the right one? Yeah, right, the right one.
Yeah, I think I still think my favorite Mel Brooks is probably Blazing Saddles, but you know, but I wore black today in honor of Young Frankenstein.
Yeah. And Halloween, because we're all dark, except for Top Gun over here.
I have black underneath this.
You didn't get the memo about being goth.
Halloween.
To the danger zone.
I should have put my mascara on.
Yeah.
Right.
So deep,
Exactly.
so dark.
Well, like I agree with Daryl. A lot of times a movie's not the same. You have this almost like euphoric high experience when you first watch it. It can be your favorite movie. Then 10, 15 years later you watch it and you're like, what was I thinking? This movie sucks.
Yeah.
I didn't think that with this movie. I enjoyed it, every bit of it. However, like as an actor, when you watch a film, you can't help but think about it from a behind-the-scenes perspective, think about what each actor was going through. You sort of critique performances in a way that I'm guessing non-actors, you know, would watch a movie and think of it. And there was a couple moments for me in Young Frankenstein that were a little over the top. I really don't like Inspector Kemp's hand. I think, I love the way that the monocle, he wears his monocle over the eye patch, and I love the accent, and he's so bizarre, and it's all great. I just think that the hand was too much, you know.
I'm going to agree with you. It was probably my least favorite character.
I think it almost was like one add-on that should have been left off, because I think that he supplies so much to the story, but I think
and they do the pump thing.
right.
All the sound effects and everything. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
Like the whole scene where he's lighting a cigar, I'm like, just use your good hand. You'll have it done in like 2 seconds. You know? It took you 90 seconds to light your cigar.
But I agree, as a storyteller, I felt he detracted more from the story than he added to the story. You know, he didn't really have. It's almost like he didn't have a key role in the story other than to try and incite the crowd to go after the monster. You know? I enjoyed his bit where he takes all 6 darts and sticks them right in the middle of the dartboard. That was good. And then tries to cover it, and then he makes the sound.
And then Gene Wilder turns and sees it and spits his drink out, and he says, "Nice grouping."
Right, nice. That was pretty good. Yeah, that was a good scene.
That was good.
So what is your favorite scene? I know we've kind of, but is there a favorite? I know for me, there's putting on the Reds.
Yeah, right. Well, Peter Boyle is a classic.
I'm like, replay, putting on the Reds. I'm like, can I get this on my ringtone?
Right, yeah, you actually probably could, yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. I thought about Peter Boyle because he's an alumni of Second City, you know, and it's amazing. He had virtually no speaking in the movie. I think that was his only speaking in the movie. And his facial expressions, he had to go with
grunted a lot.
Grunted a lot, had to go with the emotion. I think from an acting standpoint, it was probably the scene when Gene Wilder, it's probably still my favorite scene, was when Gene Wilder said, whatever I do, when I, don't open this door no matter how much I've been.
Open the door, get me the hell out of here. What you hear?
Damn it, can't you take a joke? I was only joking.
He's like, open the door, get me the hell out of here.
But when he started talking to Peter Boyle, to the creature's character, and and you're good, and to see the facial expressions change on Peter Boyle as an actor and that emotion come out, it was, I think it's a lot harder sometimes to emote as an actor when you don't have any lines.
Oh yeah.
So I really liked the way that scene, just comedically and dramatically, it was a nice little mix, when Gene Wilder went into I guess it was this jail cell, the dungeon cell or whatever. Yeah.
It's a great scene.
He has to teach him love.
Teach him love, yes. Love was, hey, that's it, right? Love is the answer. Right? Every movie's about love, right?
I'm absolutely blanking on her name. Help me.
Oh, Cloris Leachman?
Cloris Leachman.
Yes.
Yes, Cloris Leachman.
Love
Blucher.
her.
Frau Blucher.
Love her in that film.
Even when they're indoors and they say it. The horses winning outside.
I love when
That's
she
great.
That's right, say it. He was my boyfriend. I love that scene.
Or when Marty Feldman in the very beginning, just to tease the horses.
Right.
Frau Blucher. That's pretty good. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, he is fantastic in this film. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, really. Yeah, it is. I think it makes the movie more enjoyable just to talk about it like this. Honestly,
Sure.
when you think about the different pieces of it.
So speaking of the inspector, the actor Kenneth Mars, who plays him, provided the voice of King Triton in The Little Mermaid.
Really?
That's
Isn't that
interesting.
cool?
Really?
Yeah, and he had
all kinds of
Look at you, your film
Happy to help.
Mr. Trivia.
You know what? She went on Wikipedia. Darn it.
Wow.
And I thought Terry Garr was just wonderful as
Yes.
Inga. I mean, she was just so so cute and perky and innocent. It just was a great.
I'd
great role
actually
for her.
kind of forgotten about Terry Garr as an actress until, by revisiting the movie, I was like, oh yeah. I guess she was the wife in Mr. Mom with Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
That's like the only other thing I
yeah.
really recognize her from.
But she did really great in the role, and you could just tell she was just putting on that character. She had a great German accent. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I was thinking I'd go to IMDb and see what else that she was in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She provided
It's
this
good to
like
see her again.
innocence and sweetness,
Right.
to the role. So
Yeah,
I thought
she
that was
did.
great.
Yeah.
I know as an actor, it's a film that, like, in today's standards, I would totally be like, oh, I want to be in that. I want to be goofy, put funny face on me so that I can, just lighten up. And because I really like, and in acting class, I kind of go dark and dramatic and very, so it's nice to do kind of a comedic, so this is definitely a film that, if approached with a film similar to this, I would totally want to do. Just to kind of be goofy and, just have fun with it. Just have fun with acting. Acting is always fun for me, don't get me wrong. But just to kind of be given a comedy, something lighthearted.
Well, I totally agree with what
Yeah.
you're saying, Joanna. When you're in a drama, you're probably going to be more three-dimensional and deeper. When you're in a comedy or a story like this one, all the characters are two-dimensional, they're caricatures. And yet the way they play them, they don't know they're caricatures. They're serious.
Yeah.
And so it's just such a joy for the audience to get to watch this kind of witty comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so it's fun. It's a fun departure when you've been doing serious stuff. Of course, we enjoy everything that we do as actors, but it's fun to get that chance to break.
I agree.
I could be mistaken, but didn't they make Young Frankenstein into a Broadway play?
I think
quite a
they
few
did.
years
I think
back.
it was
I think
turned
so.
into a musical.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I heard that.
A musical. I think I saw things on YouTube when I went on YouTube to find the film because I don't own it and I've never saw it before. Yeah, no, they did. I didn't watch any of the YouTube clips though because I was just like, no, No.
I don't think I would be interested. It's one of those classic films that you don't want them to do a remake. Don't touch it. Don't mess with it because I love it just the way that it is.
But I mean, it could. They did was it Evil Dead? They turned into a musical.
It's funny you mentioned that. I actually saw that.
And it kind of brings a little bit more lightheartedness to it. I don't know. That movie's.
Did you see Evil Dead the musical?
No, I wanted to.
I was in Toronto one summer and it was showing, and I'd never heard of it. And it was like this classic. 20-something teens go to a cabin and slasher, but it was a musical, and you had
it kind of made it.
The first 3 rows you had to have plastic sheeting because blood went into the audience. It was really
I think it's
good.
interesting. I think locally they did a night of the Living Dead musical. I saw casting. I can't sing, so I didn't audition. But I would have, if I could sing, I would have auditioned because I mean that's awesome. Yeah.
You could have made a bold acting choice. I'm going to speak my song lines.
I know. Yeah. Like karaoke, rap it. Pretty much. See, karaoke, I can rap. Oh, I didn't think of that. I could have rapped my parts.
Yes.
Oh, darn it. Okay, so as we wrap up, get it? Wrap up. Final thoughts on the film or just acting?
Well, final thoughts on, I think what I said, I think that it was good to revisit the film. I think I'm going to be more careful about what films I go and revisit and try and capture memories of some things I just want to
I was in the dark.
You just wanted to remain the way it was.
And I just, I love acting. I love, I love getting into a character. I love really finding out what a character is about. And I'm just really looking forward to doing more projects and heading out to LA and getting better. Just, my goal is just to be a better actor no matter what I do.
Yeah, better actor, better person, whatever.
And what was your website again?
DarylPMiller.com. Pretty easy to find.
Just his name.
Yeah.
I want to become a worse actor over time. That's my goal. The more that I can suck at it, then I'll be like, mission accomplished. I just tease it.
You're well on your way.
Oh!
You're just a little too tall.
Just a little too tall. Just a little too tall.
I want to work more. I want to do more acting. So I think once you've got the bug, it's just
it doesn't go away.
Yeah. You constantly look for the next thing. Like, what else can I get involved in? What else can I do? So. Well, thank you so much for being on our little show.
It's good to be here.
Dressing in Halloween, Maverick. Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
Goth.
Yes, Goth. You're one of us. Welcome to the dark side.
There it is. There's
black
the face.
underneath.
Oh,
Thank
see, we
you.
knew it.
It was
Closet
so
Goth.
exciting
Closet
to be
Goth.
here. I'm so glad you come.
Brooding.
That's better.
Perfect.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of FilmSpeak.
We'll see you next time.
Bye!
Bye.
Wake up, Shaggy, well, it's time to go out with Scooby-Doo. Jump in the mystery machine with Fred, Daphne, and... Who? Velma too. You're gonna see some ghosts. Get Mr. Witherspoon in robes. Oh, Shaggy, you're gonna eat a sandwich.
Captain America!
Yes, little girl.
Will you tell us a story about America?
Ooh, and the Wild West.
I want ice cream.
Well, ice cream after, and I'll do you one better than that. I'll tell you a story about America and Tom Jones. You see, when I was a little kid, my mom dated this Arabic guy named Abdul. Kind of funny, huh? Funny name. Yes?
What does Arabic mean?
Oh, he's from another country called Arabia. It's not America, so it's not as good. Anyhow, so she was dating this guy, and one day we all came home into our apartment, and my mom had this really big hi-fi record system that she could play records on.
What's a record?
It's kind of like a really big CD, and it's black, so it's not as good. Anyhow, he went over to the hi-fi, and he put the record on, And he put the needle on the record, and suddenly this music burst forth from the record player. It was like, ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. My mom was in the kitchen, and she came running out and said, rip! And she ripped the record off, and she said, what is this? And Abdul said, well, in my country, this is the best singer we all love very much.
Why are you sounding funny?
Well, because he talked kind of funny, because he was not from America. In America, though, we don't talk funny, do we?
No.
That's right. Anyhow, my mom said, well, we're not listening to this here because this is America. And in America, we listen to Tom Jones. Pussycat, pussycat, I love you. Yes, I do. Cut. True story, by the way.
Look, we're still maintaining.
Where's Lana?
I haven't seen her.
I have absolutely no idea.
Hey, no worries, guys. I got Lana covered. I got this.
Okay, guys, I'm here.
That was a super show. Thank you to our guests Daryl and Titus for coming on today.
I really love talking about young Frankenstein.
Wait, what is this junk?
Bill wrote it, making us say quotes from the film.
Do we have to?
It's on the teleprompter.
You know, I'll never forget my old dad when these things would happen to him. The things he would say to me.
What would he say?
What the hell are you doing in the bathroom day and night? Why don't you get out of there and give someone else a chance?
Please check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/talkfilmstome.
Bye, everyone. See you next time. Bye, everyone.
Tell us when to freeze.
Freeze.
So,
So are we gonna freeze in our pose and then
Freeze
just
it.
look at the camera that
Freeze
way
and then
give our
stop.
dialogue?
No, look at the camera.
Okay.
And then we go,
Afterwards?
and then run. Just 3 times. 1, 2, 3.
After our dialogue?
After our dialogue, we all finish. Then we do it roughly at the same
And
time.
we're running towards the camera?
And then we run towards the camera. Well, let's all do like a big circle, right? After we get done, like everybody run around crazy once, and then everybody take off towards the camera.
Okay.
Towards
10
past
count
Tiki's.
After you do the.
After we start, as soon as we start, give us a 10 count and tell us when to freeze.
Okay.
Okay,
2, 3.
are we ready?
No, as a group. We do this. After everyone's done.
After everybody says their one thing.
We're ready, they're recording.
Okay. We're ready.
Ready as we're gonna be.
All right.